Here, the agitated residents claimed that at least 4 children have been abducted from Maraba and Mudhara areas within the past 2 weeks. 2 of the children have since been found alive, while the circumstances surrounding the other cases remain unclear. Residents demanded increased police patrols, speedy investigations, and the immediate arrest of suspected traffickers believed to be operating in the area.
Tumeibiwa tangu tuko na miezi mbili, tumeibiwa watoto na tumechoka kuibiwa watoto, na ndio maana siku ya leo tumetokea hapa, kwa sababu siku ya jana kitu ambacho inatuhuzunisha sana ni kwa sababu kuna mtoto ambaye anaitwa Mwende alichukuliwa hapo kwa duka kama ametoka kwa duka, na ndio maana tumeamua siku ya leo hakuna shule, watoto wataenda shule, na sisi tumefunga makazi zetu, tukuje tuandamane ndio watoto wetu wapatikane mahali wamepelekwa.
Tungetaka serikali iangalie na pia ituangalilie mambo ya security na kutujengea hapo posti ya polisi. Juu hii distance ya kukuja huku Etaithie ni faa sana.
And Machakos Governor Wavinya Ndeti has launched a modern road equipment under the Barabara Mashinani program to improve road access and boost economic activities across the county. This and other stories in the County News Wrap.
Machakos Governor Wavinya Ndeti says the road upgrade program will improve connectivity, reduce cost, and speed up service delivery.
Roads are the veins of our economy. If they are blocked, the county cannot breathe.
Elsewhere, St. Paul's Shitavita Primary School management in Lugari constituency, Kakamega County, is appealing to leaders and well-wishers to help improve learning facilities meet the severe shortage of classrooms that has forced some learners to study in a mud-walled church.
Tunatarajia mvua nzito kuanzia mwezi wa 3, ili hali madarasa ni yale tu. Ukiangalia grade ya 2, grade ya 4, grade ya 5 wanasomea kwenye madarasa ya matope.
Still in Kakamega County, a major political realignment is taking shape following the cooperation between the United Democratic Alliance and the Orange Democratic Movement, with the leaders announcing a county-level merger aimed at promoting unity and development.
Sisi tunataka kuamuka na chama yenye imeshikana, ODM ikuwe imeshikana, UDA iwe imeshikana, ndio tuweze kuleta mambo ambayo inatakana hapa Kakamega County. So na kuomba kwa heshima kubwa Bwana Sifuna, tafadhali ubusikie mwito ya wale wanakuongelesha, mkae chini, umalize shida ya ODM.
In Laikipia County, 58 needy students have benefited from Elimu Scholarship to enable them to transit to grade 10.
I want to thank the national government through the Jomo Kenyatta Foundation for the scholarship that they have given to our grade 10 learners, being the first cohort of the CB education. We hope in the near future or in the future the number of the slots will be increased, particularly for the Laikipia.
And the M-Pesa Foundation has announced plans to construct a 9.8 million shillings pediatric intensive care unit in Kisumu County aimed at improving critical care for children.
M-Pesa Foundation is putting 98 million into this facility to ensure that we have 9 bed pediatric ICU people and an 8-bed people and a 9-bed neonatal ICU.
Finally, in Narok County, students have been urged to stay away from drug and substance abuse in order to make good use of educational opportunities and improve their living standards.
I want to tell our boys that the girl child has really, wasichana wamechomoka. Why are you being left behind? Nyinyi hao wasichana wakisoma, wawe madaktari, wengine wawe walimu, principals, chief principal kama Madam Teka, kama Patricia hapa. Je, kina Odupoi, mwalimu, chief principal, nani atakuwa kama yeye?
Nailongeso for.
And it was an emotional moment for parents of children with hearing disabilities who gathered at Kenyatta National Hospital for the switching on of cochlear implants, marking a life-changing milestone for dozens of families. Among them was Winkate Wambui and her daughter Goreti, one of the 50 children who underwent cochlear implant surgery last year at the KNH and is now receiving the gift of hearing.
Be strong, Mama. Yeah.
Tears of joy flowed freely for Winkate Wambui. The tears also symbolized relief for the many years of enduring suffering and societal rejection of her daughter Goreti, who was diagnosed with hearing loss in 2022.
Having a child with any disability, it is very difficult out there. From the community, the society does not accept children with any disability.
The constant worry of her daughter's safety is now put to rest after surgeons at the KNH successfully implanted a cochlear device.
Tukienda hospitali, mara nyingine unapata unaingia na mtoto kwa choo sababu ujui utamwacha aje hapo nje.
Wambui says the changes in her daughter are already remarkable.
Now she can write trees in PP2. Kama tunaweza kuwa na institution ya shule ambayo itakuwa tuna watoto wenye wanatumia cochlear na wale watu wamefunzwa jinsi ya kufunza wa watoto even after speech therapy, inaweza saidia sana. Juu kitu ikipotea tena hiyo ni hasara kubwa sana, na ukimpeleka normal school lazima ukuwe na yule mtu anaichunga vizuri.
Since Monday, 25 children have had their devices successfully switched on, all responding positively.
This is the first time an initiative of this magnitude has been successfully implemented within the public healthcare system and space in Kenya. Implanting cochlear devices in 50 children with zero complications is a major national milestone and one we are extremely proud of.
Doctors say the journey continues with speech therapy and rehabilitation as children learn to interpret sound.
It takes time for the brain to adapt to the new sounds. Some of these children have never heard before, so they are hearing the first time. And when we put we switch on the device, some of them might get shocked with the new sound.
Between November 3rd and 7th, 2025, surgeons at the hospital successfully implanted cochlear devices in 50 children. The initiative was made possible in partnership with the Office of the First Lady Rachel Ruto and the Princess Lala Asma Foundation of Morocco. Mariambo reporting for KBC Channel 1.
And residents of Karathe village in Ongata Rongai are raising alarm over increased insecurity after a series of criminal attacks left one person dead and several others injured within the past week. The residents say a gang armed with crude weapons has been attacking people at night, instilling fear in the neighborhood. At least 5 people have been assaulted in the last 1 week, with one victim succumbing to injuries, while another remains hospitalized in Nairobi. Locals blame poor lighting along feeder roads for the rising crime, saying the dark stretches have become hideouts for criminals. They accuse the county government of delaying the installation of security lights for over 4 years. Residents are now calling for the establishment of a police station in the area to enhance security. Due to fear of attacks, most businesses in the village close before dusk.
Hawa watu wakichoka kumaliza kwa barabara ni kwa manyumba wataingia. We are not safe. We don't feel safe. Sisi kama nyumba 10 wa hii area na machifu wetu hatuna bunduki. Kabla tufikie police post mali yuko akuja kimbia hapa, mtu anakuanga amekufa. Hata polisi hawako safe. Tunaomba pia hii area ya kijiji Karathe tuletewe kama police post. Unaona hiyo police container iko pale Tumaini. Town imejichunga.
Nauliza kama tunaweza kupata security ikuwe enhanced, kama ofisi za chifu ambazo zimejengwa huku ndani kunawekwa maaskari katika hiyo area because it is our public facility, na hata huku kwingine mahali ambapo container za polisi kama ile ambayo iko pale inaweza kuletwa huku ndani.
And the government has been urged to financially support widows and offer them proper guidance, especially those living in informal settlements in Trans Nzoia County, following the many challenges they face, including a lack of capital to meet their families' basic needs.
Christine Nafula from Tuan an informal settlement in Saboti constituency, who has been a widow for over 10 years, says her life changed drastically immediately after her husband passed away. She notes that despite the heavy responsibilities that fell on her shoulders, she remained determined to face life's challenges.
Watoto wetu wamepitia shida. Kama mimi mtoto alikuwa anaenda shule kiatu imeraruka. Uniform nimepika panja huku. Kama kijana yangu nilikuwa napika upande hii na hapa. Na kale kasichana nilikuwa napika skati paka huku mbele.
According to her, widowhood combined with poverty has been a major burden, and the struggles they go through sometimes affect their children while in school, including lack of proper school uniform and poor academic performance.
Sisi wachane tumepitia changamoto mingi sana. Kama sisi wazee walioenda, hata tujaiona shemeji hata kikuja kwa boma aseme leo shemeji, shika hii sukari ama shika hii mafuta utapikia watoto ya mtoto yetu. Tumekuwa tukiasa peke yetu.
The women who continue to endure different living conditions have called on community-based organizations to support them in starting small businesses so that they can earn an income and be able to meet their family responsibilities.
They need to be bold and to face the challenges that we are in, especially the current economy. I'm just praying that everything will work out for them.
Reporting for Lunchtime News, my name is Dennis Branham.
A section of residents from Elsa Village in Burat Ward, Isiolo County, staged protests against the transfer of Elsa Secondary School principal, citing improved academic performance and good leadership during his tenure at the institution. The residents, most of whom are parents with children enrolled at the school, said they were shocked by the decision by the Teacher Service Commission to transfer the principal without involving the school's Board of Management or consulting other key stakeholders. The Board of Management defended Akale's leadership, describing him as a dedicated administrator who has worked tirelessly to improve both academic standards and discipline at the institution.
Maana hata kisa na mahana ni kwamba matokeo ya 2025 KCSE results zilitoka na tumefanya maajabu katika mtihani. Watoto wetu wamepita wote. Tuko na miniscore ya 5.4 na badala sisi tuserebulate ni kama tunalia kwa sababu tumestukia kwamba mwalimu wetu mkuu Bwana Bosco Ekale ametolewa, amepigwa transfer.
Ekale alipoingia kama principal alikuta miniscore yetu iko chini, tulikuwa 2.8 na sasa ameiondoa kutoka 2.8 ametufikisha 5.4.
Wanafunzi ambaye hata amefanya mtihani hii mwaka ni wangu, mmoja ni wangu na wamepita. Sasa wakati tulisikia kwamba Ekale amepigwa transfer, tulishikwa na butwa tukiwa wazazi, hasa sisi kina mama.
The Kenya Police Service in the Rift Valley region has launched investigations across several North Rift counties bordering South Sudan and Ethiopia, following increased concerns over cross-border drug trafficking. Speaking during a security meeting, Rift Valley Regional Police Commander, that is Samuel Ndanyi, urged security agencies to intensify operations along the borders and called on residents to cooperate with authorities by volunteering information that could help curb the vice. Ndanyi noted that 8 foreign nationals from Burundi have so far been arrested in connection with suspected drug trafficking activities within the region, adding that investigations into the suspected drug trafficking network are ongoing.
Kuna vitu kadhaa ambazo zinaweza kuwa zinatoka katika nchi jirani na ndio tuone vile tunaweza shirikiana officers ambao wako katika katika along the corridor kutoka Turkana kuja West Pokot kwenda kuelekea Trans Nzoia, vile tunaweza shirikiana katika ile hali ya kupeana report so that ndio tu deal na vitu na hizo vitu ambazo nimetaja, hizo pombe haramu na miadarati.
Busia County, in partnership with the UK government, Digital Access Program and ACWICT, has launched the second phase of the Inclusive Digital Futures project. Over 1,200 digital champions from all 7 sub-counties will receive advanced digital training to boost employability and support local communities. The new phase introduces artificial intelligence literacy through a flexible remote learning model. Governor Dr. Paul Otuoma said the program will tackle youth unemployment by equipping young people with practical digital skills. The initiative aligns with efforts to bridge the digital divide and prepare residents for the growing digital economy.
Kenya and Uganda as one metropolis, a population of about 2 million people, to access business opportunities through digital platforms, so that we ease the way our people do business, especially even our cross-border women. That program is already ongoing, and those who came for that meeting, you are aware that we want to open that metropolis and the infrastructure that is coming up.
And a growing number of students in Nakuru County who performed well in the 2025 KCSE are opting for technical and vocational education and training, that is TVET institutions, instead of joining universities, signaling a shift in education choices driven by job market realities.
18-year-old Masi Wairimu, who scored an A-, chose to pursue an electrical technician course at the Rift Valley Institute of Business Studies. Backed by her parents, Wairimu says her passion for hands-on electrical work influenced her decision, noting that technical skills offer quicker employment and a stable income.
Electric engineering, I chose to do this course due to opportunities here outside are so many, so that you can install electricity to different places, so that I could be able to expand in my skills and get more knowledge.
Rift Valley Institute of Business Studies Director John Gitao says TVET institutions align well with the competency-based curriculum, which emphasizes practical skills. He adds that incentives such as tax rebates for companies offering internships to TVET graduates have boosted enrollment.
But one of my ways of interpreting how we can go to the middle-income status is, first of all, to ensure we don't have any member of our society who stays at home because of joblessness. That has been one of the, we have a great asset as a country in the terms of the youth. We have a strong youth force in terms of they have the energy, and now all they need is to get skills. And these skills, when you get skills, people focus on skills that are usable.
Official data shows public university enrollment has declined, while intake in technical institutions has risen to 22%. Education stakeholders say the shift could help address Kenya's growing skills shortage in critical sectors such as construction, plumbing, and electrical installation. Experts warn that without increased investment in technical training, the country risks a labor imbalance that could slow down industrial growth and development.
Now, Kaya Tiwi elders from Kwale County have urged Ambassador Chirau Ali Makwere to use his position as the Mijikenda spokesperson to find solutions for the region's historical land injustices. Speaking during the 722nd anniversary of the founding of Kaya Tiwi, the elders said historical land injustices must be addressed and title deeds issued to rightful landowners. They also claim that Kaya forests have also been encroached and the cultural heritage of the community has been destroyed.
Wao wakiwa wamechaguliwa kama jamii, ni lazima wajue matatizo ya kijamii ni yapi na waweze kuungana na serikali ile ambayo iko katika mamlaka kufikisha yale matatizo ili yaweze kutatuliwa once and for all.
Serikali ya Kenyatta ikianza ilipatia fursa ya kupima hizi ardhi, lakini muda mchache zikawa na blanda, ikawa watu wengine wana block, wanaambia ardhi zao, wakafurusha wazee wetu, si tukabaki juu juu.
Tutaendeleza shughuli hizi ili watoto wetu nao wajue kwamba
sisi kama Wadigo tuna mila na desturi.
And across Kenya, lakes are quietly expanding, swallowing land, altering livelihoods and reshaping ecosystems. From the Rift Valley lakes to the world's largest desert lake in the north, rising water levels are becoming a growing concern. Our reporter Alvin Kaunda takes us to the shores of Lake Turkana and beyond to explore what is driving this phenomenon and what it means for communities living at the water's edge.
Lake Naivasha, located in the Great Rift Valley, is one of Kenya's most important lakes. It supports fisheries, farming, tourism, and a wide variety of wildlife. But in recent years, a phenomenon has been happening. The lake has been steadily rising. The rising water levels here have not only reshaped shorelines, but they have also altered how wildlife interact with people.
And you can check the deep.
As the lake expands, birds are drawn closer to human activity, blurring the line between wild behavior and survival. It's a subtle change, but one that signals a deeper shift within the lake's ecosystem. And Naivasha is not alone. Farther north, where the desert meets water, the world's largest desert lake stretches endlessly into the horizon. For generations, Lake Turkana has sustained life in one of the harshest landscapes on Earth.
What you're seeing behind me is more than a beautiful landscape. It's a lake that has been expanding. Just like Lake Naivasha and other lakes in the Rift Valley, this Lake Turkana is also expanding, forcing communities to adapt to a new reality.
For fishing communities here, the changing shoreline is not theoretical. It is something they live with every day.
Ile manyata yote iko juu. Yote ilikuwa hapa mali maji iko na bado inasonga. Upepo inafuma tunafikiria inarudisha, lakini ni kama inaendelea kuwa inakuja juu.
Across Kenya, the story is repeating itself. Increased rainfall, climate variability and changing river flows contribute to rising lake levels. For communities that depend on these lakes, the water brings both opportunity and uncertainty. More fish in some cases, but fewer predictable boundaries. As Kenya lakes continue to rise, the challenge remains how to adapt, protect livelihoods and preserve ecosystems as nature quietly redraws the map. Alvin Kaunda reporting for KBC.
And financial constraints continue to hinder the transition of some grade 10 learners to senior schools. While some have benefited from financial aid from different well-wishers, others are still finding it hard to find the means to cover their school fees. Meanwhile, a section of senior school heads has decried the low turnout of grade 10 learners, with some schools recording as low as 40% student turnout.
In Mwingi West, Kitui County, 3 grade 10 learners are yet to report to their respective senior schools due to lack of school fees. The 3, Sarah Mwende, who was the leading student at Ilalambiu Comprehensive School, Jonathan Kathunzi and Jacob Lakeli, have appealed for support from well-wishers.
Kuna kijana ako university, mwingine ako form 4. So far sija report juu mzazi ana pesa za kunipeleka shule.
Siku zinaendelea kusonga, bado sijafanywa kitu hadi mmoja hadi shopping, hakuna kitu niko nayo.
Nataka kama kuna mtu anaweza nisaidia kwenda shule, anisaidie niweze kuendelea na masomo yangu.
Elsewhere, it was a sigh of relief for hundreds of vulnerable grade 10 learners in Nakuru County after receiving bursaries worth 13.8 million shillings from the national government and Affirmative Action GAF.
Leo tumekuwa na furaha sana kwa sababu ya Mama County. Tumekuwa na shida na watoto wetu na hata wazazi wamekuwa na shida kwa sababu wengi ni wale ambao wanafanya kazi ya shilingi 250 ya kila siku.
In efforts to reduce dropout rates among low-income students in Garissa County, over 1,000 learners have benefited from the Elimu Scholarship, a program spearheaded by the Jomo Kenyatta Foundation.
Scholarship was the last stop of my academics because my father couldn't afford to pay my school fees. And Alhamdulillah, today I'm going to study and inshallah become successful.
And over 200 needy grade 10 students in Homa Bay County have received a significant boost after charitable organization Voice of Peace paid their school fees, easing the burden on families struggling with the high cost of education.
The parent only supports the feeding program by paying 10 tins of maize and 5 tins of beans per term, or you pay it in terms of cash, 3,500 only in school.
We are down in terms of finances, and therefore what we are paying here is even not worthy to be said that we are paying something, because it is just a matter of some tins of maize and some tins of beans.
As the registration of grade 10 students continues across the country, Kilifi County government has allocated 150 million shillings to support hundreds of vulnerable grade 10 learners.
Wale ambao tunawasomesha, tunawalipia karo, na hiyo program ni kwamba tutalipia huyu kijana kutoka grade 10 mpaka 12, halafu tutamlipia karo kama yoenda chuo kikuu pia.
And a section of senior school heads in Kisii and Migori counties have decried low turnout of grade 10 learners, with some schools recording as low as 40% student turnout.
We are at 400 students who have been placed through the system, and we still have about 313 to report. I think if I compare with what we have had in the past, this year the reporting is a bit slow.
Around 35 to 40%. Parents are bringing their kids. Some are calling and requesting to be allowed to bring their kids tomorrow, Friday, some even next week, because of 1 or 2 requirements not met, normally the school fees.
This is the 4th day since grade 10 learners started reporting in senior schools. Kasichana Masha, Lunchtime News.
And on that note, we want to take a quick break here on Lunchtime News. When we come back, updates including business and sports news. Stay with us.
This project was started in our district in the year 2008, and we donate hands to amputees whose hands are amputated below the elbow, 5 to 6 inches.
Persons with disabilities across the country need to recognize that they are the voice, and their voices need to be heard. Many caregivers feel lonely and require psychosocial support, but they also need to recognize that you cannot feel from an empty cup. You need to be the voice of your child.
Fanya unavyotaka. Umesahau kuwa mimi sio mfasi wako, na leo sitaki kujua.
Kijana, sikujua kile kifaa ulicho nacho.
Sawa, mbona sikuelewi?
Umefikaje hapa? Nazungumzia kuhusu nini?
Unasemaje? Kama ni kunipokea nimezoea. Ni mwiko kwako wewe hata kumpenda mwanangu. Sina la kusema.
Welcome back. You're watching Lunchtime News, and it's time for the business news. Proto Energy is accelerating adoption of cleaner fuels by installing automotive liquefied petroleum gas dispensing pumps at petrol stations. The initiative targets vehicles converted to dual fuel systems that allow motorists to switch seamlessly between LPG and conventional petrol or diesel, offering flexibility, cost savings and lower emissions.
More than 27 million vehicles are currently running on automotive liquefied petroleum gas globally. Studies indicate that LPG produces up to 20% lower carbon emissions than petrol. And in Kenya, transport contributes about 40% of urban air pollution. This has seen policymakers and private firms encouraging adoption of alternative automotive fuels such as automotive liquefied petroleum gas. Riding on this, Proto Energy has sealed a partnership with Ola Energy to accelerate installation of automotive liquefied petroleum gas dispensing pumps.
Actually, one investment that has one of the highest return on investment to the drivers, to the owners, but mostly for Ola and Proto Energy. I think for us is how do we then provide Kenya with clean energy.
When it comes to how we plan to expand this, obviously we are focused on Nairobi at the moment, with a lot of expansion expected in upcountry sites.
About 30% of households in Kenya currently use LPG as their primary cooking fuel, supported by an established regulatory framework, which is a solid base for expanding its use into the transport sector. Sylvia Gatti reporting for Lunchtime News.
Across borders now, Tanzania and Uganda are among 75 countries that the United States State Department announced it is pausing immigrant visa processing. The U.S. State Department says the administration wants to bring an end to the abuse of the system by those who would extract wealth from the American people by using welfare and public benefits. Here are the details of these and other stories making headlines across the globe.
President Donald Trump has sought to limit both illegal and legal crossing into the U.S. since returning to office, and his administration has already halted immigration visa processing for people from Brazil, Iran, Russia, and Somalia. The U.S. State Department says the order takes effect on 21st January 2026 and will remain active until the U.S. can ensure that new immigrants will not extract wealth from the American people. The pause impacts 75 countries, including Tanzania, Uganda, Nigeria, Egypt, Haiti, Iran, Eritrea, Russia, Afghanistan, Brazil, Iran, Iraq, Thailand, and Yemen. The move came after the White House announced on Tuesday that it is ending temporary protected status for Somali immigrants amid fraud allegations in Minnesota. Meanwhile, Nigeria's fuel market is undergoing a rare shakeup as competition pushes prices lower, bringing relief to local consumers while raising concerns over business durability. In the capital city of Abuja, the state oil firm, Nigerian National Petroleum Company, has been selling petrol at about $0.57 per litre, down from about $0.66 per litre earlier in 2026. Other stations, supplied by private giant Dangote, are offering even lower prices, selling at $0.53 per litre. For millions of Nigerians, the drop has been easing pressure on transport, food, and daily living costs. The price cut means higher profits for small business operators who have for long relied on petrol-powered generators due to power shortages. Finally, international phone services have been restored in Iran following days of unrest in the country. Internet users are able to connect to government-approved domestic websites and apps, and people making and receiving calls normally by using domestic Iranian phone cards. Protests have erupted in many Iranian cities since December 28th. They initially began with Tehran bazaar merchants demonstrating against the sharp devaluation of the national currency rial and soaring inflation before spreading to other cities.
It's time to play now. It will be a battle of the Lions this Sunday when hosts Morocco face Senegal in the finals of the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations AFCON after beating Nigeria 4-2 on post-match penalties in their semi-final clash last night after a barren stalemate. Sadio Mane's lone goal against Egypt was enough to secure their ticket to the final.
Bayern Munich's 3-1.
Now, Bayern Munich defeated Cologne 3-1 last night to set yet another record of scoring far more goals than any German top-flight side has ever managed after 17 matches. Bayern have now scored 66 goals in 17 matches and are 11 points and 34 goals above second-placed Borussia Dortmund.
Bayern Munich's 3-1 victory against Cologne extended their unbeaten league start to 15 wins and 2 draws from 17 matches.
And he's kept it alive. Gnabry did really well. How has he managed to squeeze that?